Welcome to part 2 of our Montreal Canadiens season preview, already in progress.
And
Okay,
I'm forgetting we're going to have Cole Carfield for a full season. I don't know how the hell I forgot that.
I'm sure he's on a list that we both made. I'm sure
Right.
he's on both of our lists, so we're going to talk about him for sure.
I can't believe he just out of my mind when I'm talking about goal scoring, but he's there too.
True, good point. Right. So look at the improved offense that should be, right? Okay, so now on the opposite of what went wrong in the regular season, what went right in the playoffs for them to have the run they had?
I think goaltending, 1,000,000,000%. Carey Price, I think, was easily the best. And yes, Vasilevsky was very, very good. But you just look at what Carey Price did with it, like the series the Canadians won, how clutch Carey Price was. I think Carey Price was probably the best goalie in the playoffs.
Yeah, look at his numbers improved from the regular season. 2.64 and a .901, and he improved that to a 2.28 and a .924. And that's quite incredible when you consider that he made that improvement at the hardest time of the year, under the most pressure, and since everything that's happened and come out, we know that he was under immense stress and even mental stress.
Right.
And look at the way he performed. So an amazing job by Carey Price. And I agree with you. I think biggest reason what went right was Price. And also, I think having a little bit of extra practice time, the coach was able to focus the guys on his system, and the system that work kicked in at that important time of Game 5 of the first round against Toronto, and
Right,
they went on
100%.
an incredible run after there was seven wins in a row, swept the Jets. I mean, they went on an incredible run. So I think the two things, right? Carey Price's performance and the team actually clicking with Ducharme's system.
And I think leadership as well. I mean, having guys like Weber and a guy like Corey Perry in the locker room, I mean,
yeah. And Shea Weber, especially
pulling the team together. Oh,
with what he was going through, not
yeah.
even his wife knew the extent of what he was going through. So the players didn't, and he led that team. Yeah, Shea Weber. That's something that's going to be a very key thing in the end. When we analyze the end of the season, where it's going to be I hope it's not. Let's put it that way. Something that we go, yeah, that they really, really missed Weber, his leadership. So now we're going into the new season. Let's take a look at what I guess it's what I think are the forward lines, but most of these are confirmed already. So let's take a look at the lines and see what we think are there. Forward lines. So these are the forward players that are on the roster right now. Forward lines are Toffoli, Suzuki, Carfield. We know that's first line. Drouin, Dvorak, Anderson. We know that's second line. Hoffman, Evans, Gallagher. Now, to start the season, it's not the third line because Armia is going to be playing where Hoffman is. But when Hoffman comes back, we also 99% sure, and we know that will be the third line, right? And then we got Lehkonen, Brooks, Armia. And I think the Brooks part will be filled by Brooks, Paquette, maybe Paling. I think through the year, even Perreault, those four guys are pretty much going to be mix and match on the third line to situations, either game matchups or injuries and stuff like that. But pretty much that's the starting four. I think for game one, Brooks will be the starting center because of they're playing the Maple Leafs and it's just natural. So what do you think of these forward lines?
So first, I do also just want to say I don't even think Hoffman's going to miss that much time anyway. I don't think it's
about a week, a week roughly.
So he'll be all right. But look, I really kind of like that lineup. I think I think it's a deep lineup. Obviously, we don't have that bona fide superstar yet. I mean, I think Suzuki's going to be that guy. I mean, I think we can all agree with that. He's on that trajectory.
And Montreal thinks so too, or they wouldn't have signed him to that deal.
But I think I really think they're four solid lines that you can roll. Because even that fourth line of Lehkonen, Brooks, Armia, just those two wingers and Lehkonen and Armia,
Yeah.
I think they're solid players. So I think it's 4 solid offensive lines.
Yep.
And I think the goal scoring is going to be much better compared to last year. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think the lineup's also going to be a bit faster.
But definitely I like the lineup for the same reason. I think you roll 4 lines. When you need to cut back to 3 at times, you can, but you can roll 4 because sometimes rolling 4 lines doesn't always work to your advantage in certain games. So you got to give that. But this is, and you know what else I like about this lineup? You can legitimately get scoring from every line. So it's going to be a much more a rarer occurrence of the shutouts, of the Habs really struggling. One of those lines is going to be able to produce, and probably 2 or 3 of them, if 1 or 2 of the lines are off, right? It happens. Lines struggle. But when you're rolling 4 that can actually put the puck in the net, your offense is a little bit, the fact that we don't have that elite superstar offensive producer, this helps, to balance that out, right?
Right. And it showed in the playoffs too, kind of going back to what went right in the playoffs.
Right.
So we were able to roll 4 lines. I also too want to touch on Jonathan Drouin. I think missing that pure blood playmaker killed us last year as well.
Last year,
we didn't have anyone to really set up goals.
That's right. At the
we
last
put on that second line with Dvorak, and like I said, just with the chemistry that line showed.
Yep.
I mean, if he's slinging the puck around like he showed in the preseason, and I have no doubt he could hit 35, 40 assists. I mean, setting up Anderson, setting up Dvorak.
He's done already. 35 assists he's already done. I think when you're on a team that wasn't as good an offensive team and you're producing 35 assists, when that team gets better offensively and you got guys that can now finish, which has been a problem for Montreal, I think his number is going to go up higher than that if it's a successful season, right? If he's back the way we all think that he's back finally, I think this could be the first year we're going to see the Jonathan Drouin that was expected to arrive here when they traded for him.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think too, it's going to really help having a guy like Dvorak who has some of the best offensive awareness that I've seen out of a second line center. I mean, he's always in the right position in the offensive zone. He's always waiting for a pass.
Yep.
I think it'll be great.
And you can't write off Anderson here because Anderson and Drouin have become very close on and off the ice, and him being on the line, I think it only strengthens the fact that Drouin should have a much better season than we've seen from him so far. So, and we've seen him put 53 points up here. If he has a better season than that, we're looking at another guy who can put up over 60 points. It's pretty damn good.
And I think that's also a very balanced line, too.
Yep.
You have Playmaker and Drouin. You have Dvorak, who can pretty much do everything on that line.
Yeah.
And then you got Anderson, who's going to provide speed. He's got a wicked shot, but he's also going to provide the physicality on that line.
This is very balanced, and you can roll 4 lines.
Mm-hmm.
I think that says a lot. And with the depth and the experience there still, I think this is going to be a good forward group. Let's take a look at the defensive pairings. Now, these are my version of it. It's not official yet because, first of all, Edmondson is out. But we know Edmondson comes back. He's playing with Petrie. So I have it as Sherratt Savard. And, yes, I actually think they're going to put Sherratt Savard as the first line, as the first pairing group. Edmondson, Petrie, and then Romanov, Weidman. And it does look like Weidman has a job there. Now, it's up to whether it'll be Kulak or Niku as the 7th guy. And I think I said earlier Niku, but when I'm looking at it here, obviously I think Kulak's going to win the job over Niku. I'd be surprised if it's not that way. So we'll see. I don't know what Niku's waiver wire. I imagine he has to clear. So I don't know how that'll work out. Just in general, what do you think of the group?
So really, my only question mark is Chris Weidman. Now, look, on the power play, I thought he was fine. I think he's an offensive defenseman. I think he can quarterback a power play, but I think he's going to be a liability defensively.
Yeah.
He's undersized. He gets bullied off the puck a little too easy for my liking.
Yep.
I'm just really uneasy. I would honestly put Kulak there.
Yep.
I think Kulak has a little bit more size. I think he has more experience, especially at the NHL level, especially having played,
I
the
think
last
they're
few.
roughly the same though.
But I mean, too, just like Kulak's only been in the NHL. Like Weidman's kind of been all over the place, KHL.
True. Well, one season. Yeah. No,
And
you're right.
I think Kulak's also a lot better on his skates. And I think Kulak has better chemistry.
And he had a really good. His advanced stats in the preseason were, I think, the best as far as goals. He had no goals against in the preseason. He had really good stats. So I don't disagree with you. I like Kulak over Weidman as well. But you know what? I think Weidman gets the job. Here's how I think they handle it, and this is just my opinion. You between Edmondson, between all the defensemen, and I think Sherratt big time. They're going to make up for the defensive zone faceoffs when he's supposed to be on the ice. He'll come off and you'll throw a Sherratt out there, or Edmondson to take in the defensive zone. And I think that's how they manage Weidman's minutes if he's playing, because I think 5-on-5, big liability for Weidman. I
think that'd be the smart thing to do. And I'm not trying to knock the guy or anything, but just from what I saw in the preseason, he just looked like he was getting bullied off the puck way too easily.
Yeah.
And
same with Mete, right? Mete, physical,
right.
had a problem with the physical part of the game, yet, you can do the offensive side. So very much like that. He's a better Mete offensively, I think, but that's about it. So, we'll see how that works out. They're all on the roster. We'll see how it works out. So we got here Price on the IR. We don't know how long Carey Price will be out. It's a minimum of 30 days, which is already counting because he entered. It's 2, 3, 4 days now. I'm not sure exactly. So, but it's 30 days minimum, and I dare say my personal opinion is going to be longer. And then Allen will be our starter until Price comes back, and you got Sam Montembeault. What do you think of Allen and Montembeault as a tandem?
Look, first and foremost, I think Jake Allen's a really, really good goalie still in the league. I think he's a really good backup. I think he can handle his own, as a starter. My concern is how long is he going to be able to carry the load of a starter? At this point in his career, like I said, he's a good goalie. I think he's one of the best backups still in the league.
Yeah.
But how long is he going to be able to carry that weight of being the starting goaltender? Yep. And I don't know a lot about Montembeault.
There's not a lot to know. He's only played 26 games, I think.
Yeah. So that's my concern is how long can Allen go as a starter?
How long do they have to be a
tandem?
tandem?
How is Montembeault going to play?
Yeah. Well, how long do they have to be a tandem? And that, you know what? In my personal opinion, if you're trying to make a prediction for how Montreal's going to do, this is probably the biggest key point is how much time does Carey Price miss? If it's an extended amount where you're looking at 3 months or more, their chance of making the playoffs, I think, go down because as Matt said, the longer Allen has to be the starter, that's when problems start to creep into his game. So for a month, I don't think there's a problem, even a little bit more. But after that, it starts to be a problem. So I think that's the key. The biggest key here is how long does Carey Price miss?
Right, yeah. I mean, absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, Allen's a fine goalie. And I agree. I think a month, maybe a little longer than that, I think he's fine. I think he can handle it. My worry is if it goes longer than that.
Yeah, his game breaks down a little bit after that. So we'll see. We'll hope for the best. And listen, you know what? Maybe this is the year where he's affected maybe by having played with Price, and it's affected him to the point where he's going to step up this year, and actually it won't be that way. I can see that possibly happening, right? He's an older goalie. He's better all around at his game. He should be. So I'm hoping for that, but let's see. We're going to see how long Price is out. Are they an improved team over last season? What do you think about that, Matt?
I think when the team is fully healthy, I look at the roster and I think it's better. Not by a lot, but I think they addressed what they needed to address. I think the goal scoring is going to be better.
Yeah.
I think at full health, I think they are better than last year.
I agree. I think they're a little bit better with the addition of Dvorak. Yeah, my only concern is the price, and that's why if you guys have watched my video where I predicted early the final standings, is I have them out in 5th because of that. It's unknown. Yeah, I'm not going to be every year. I go, oh, they're going to be, and I'm wrong. So this year, I'm going to be cautious and say, because of that, I'm going to have them just outside the playoffs. But if Price is there and he plays the bulk of the season, yeah, I think this team is good enough to make the playoffs without a doubt. Can they make the playoffs this season? And if they can, or if so, can they do some damage? So I'm going to let you answer that since I just said that I think they can. What do you think?
I think it comes down to Carey Price. If he only takes the month and he's okay, I think we get a shot. I don't think we'll be like one of the top 2 teams. I don't think we're there yet at all.
No.
But if he only misses a month and he plays well to where he should be playing, I can see us as a 4th seed. Fighting for a wild card spot. Maybe if we get lucky at 3, but I think 4th. I really do. At full health, I think 4th, maybe 3rd.
I agree with that.
But if Price is out for a lengthy period of time, I can definitely see 5th place.
Yeah, and I think with the other teams behind them, I don't see them falling that far that they could be like 6th or 7th. But I mean, it could happen. But I see 5th if there's an issue still with Price going.
Right.
The length of how it lines out. Can they do some damage if they do make the playoffs?
Why the hell not? If they're healthy and they make the playoffs, why the hell not?
So I think they can maybe not be a contender and looked at as a contender, but once they get there, they proved already anything can happen, and they made that happen last year. So
if Suzuki has another improved year. If Cole Carfield plays a full season and he really shows his true talent,
like a Calder Trophy
season, then I mean,
yeah,
the sky's the limit if we can make the playoffs. Like,
yeah,
why wouldn't we be able to do damage?
If the offense really clicks, could make up for a lot of any problems that Allen might have, right?
So right.
As well.
I tend to call that scoring your way out of problems.
Listen, sometimes you got to do that.
But yeah, look, it might come down to that. Yeah, like I said, and I think that's where the addition of goal scoring, Dvorak, Hoffman. I think if Suzuki takes a step, I think if we can consistently score goals, if we're in like a shootout type game where it's maybe a 4-3 or 4, I think we have the ability to actually score that many goals this year.
Yeah, so we can hold our own.
You might be able to win more of those games. Which
we can.
1 or 2 of those games, depending on how close the standings are, could be.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, 2-3, sometimes 2-3 games. That's all the difference makes from being in the playoffs and out. So, who are your key players for this season? Guys that obviously are going to make probably the biggest difference for success or not having success. Subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And hey, give a thumbs up. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. I think this is a guy, we probably have a few on the same, but this guy we both for sure have. And we just talked about him, Cole Carfield. I've got Cole Carfield on the top of my list as a key player.
I have him second.
Yeah, that's good. Doesn't really matter.
I was saying I have Suzuki first. Because I think he's got the tools to take another step, and I mean,
I would really have put it Suzuki and Carfield because they're on the same line.
Right.
And I think those 2 guys, because I got them 1-2, are going to be the biggest keys to, other than the fact that whether Carey Price misses a lot of time or not. The second biggest key to this team is going to be these 2 guys.
To Foley, Carfield, and Suzuki in front scores. Suzuki from Carfield.
That first line too, and again, I know we talked a lot about that second line, but that first line too. I mean, the chemistry there is unreal too. I mean, they're just
absolutely.
That it's if both of those lines are clicking, we're gonna have some fun.
My next group of 2 guys is the next line. Drew and Devo, I think they're going to be key. That chemistry that looks like they have, and I just think those are going to be two key guys because that's going to solidify that second line. And now you can't key on Suzuki as the opposition. You can't just shut down Suzuki anymore, or that'd be your goal because you got the other line, and then you even got the third line who can do some damage. So yeah, very big, very important.
My actually next two, I actually have Jake Allen and Jonathan Drouin. I do have Dvorak on it too, but the reason I have Allen at 3 is like we said, this first month, and who knows how much longer this season, he needs to be.
He's at 3 for me too, actually.
Yeah. He needs to be at his best.
Flames have numbers. Nordstrom in front. Backlund tried to get it there.
Because he's going to be the starter. He needs to play well.
If Price misses time, Allen's going to be a huge key. If Price is back, he'll be normal. But I mean, if you got to look at. I really think Price is going to miss some time. So yeah, it's going to be. I agree. And Drouin, so you have Drouin. So you.
Yep, Drouin, and I have Dvorak too again. But just the fact that Drouin's back, and he seems like he's happy playing hockey. He just seems happier in general.
Yeah,
which is good. He seems happy playing hockey again. And we missed that playmaking ability. Having that back in the lineup,
absolutely. Yeah.
Setting up Dvorak, I love it. And then when he comes back, Carey Price obviously has to be number one.
I don't have him on my list, oddly, but I don't remember what my reasoning was in my head. But you're right; he should be on the list because he's going to be.
I mean, it's probably a month, but like when he's healthy, how can you not have Carey Price on your list?
No, you're right. I shouldn't have left him off. I actually had Jeff Petrie. Jeff Petrie, because if Jeff Petrie has a Norris caliber season this season, wow. How much of a help that'll be to reaching their goals. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I've got Petrie there. But you're right. I think definitely should be there.
And I think speaking of defensemen, too, it's Alexander Romanov.
Where do you think team leadership's coming from with the loss of Weber?
I think first and foremost, I think Jeff Petrie is going to be there. He's been one of, I think, obviously Weber's been the captain, but I think besides him, I think Petrie's had the alternate for God knows how long. Him and Gallagher have both had it for a long time. I have Gallagher on the list too.
Gallagher for sure, without a doubt.
And I put Jake Allen as well. I think Jake Allen brings a good veteran presence to the locker room.
Yeah, definitely.
And we saw it, when he kind of calmed down Caden Primo last season.
True.
Obviously, that's with another goalie, but still, I think he does bring that veteran presence to the locker room.
That's leadership right there. You're right. That 100% what he did for Primo was definitely leadership. I don't have Allen there. I've got Suzuki.
Yep.
Yeah. They made him an assistant, and it's clear to me it's clear they're grooming him for next captain. So definitely he's got to be a leader. I have Devo there because of what I read from Ducharme, saying that he believes he'll be a leader, a quiet leader. But Ducharme believes Devo will be a big leader in the room in a quiet way, by leading by example. That's leadership, and that's needed. And I think he'll be there. And then I got a question mark on Perreault. Perreault's 33 years old. He's an experienced veteran. I think part of the reason they brought him in was for that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't. I want to kind of just see. I don't know. Perreault, man. For me, anyway, I don't know. But and then again, when he's healthy, Carey Price. He's
without a doubt, yeah, of course.
And then another guy I don't have on my list, but I'm just kind of thinking of him now as I think maybe even like Joel Edmondson or David Savard, like another one of those veteran D-men.
Savard more, I think, than Edmondson.
I think Savard more too.
Yeah.
But
I think Savard more, but you're right. I thought of Savard, but I didn't want to put too many people here. But you're right. I think it's not only this group of players. I think there's a lot of leadership, a lot of potential leadership. I think they'll be fine leadership-wise.
And
this group.
The reason too, I kind of think of Edmondson too, is he's a type of guy too he sticks up for his teammates.
True.
And he's a lead by example kind of guy. He goes out there, does his job, does it well,
True.
sticks up for his teammates.
Character player. He's a character guy, and I think there's a lot of character players on this team, and those are guys that are they lead. Character guys lead. So
Go Habs, go.
Go Habs, go. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye, y'all. Subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And hey, give a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, check out that video over there.